Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today. Good late morning. Welcome to Gulfstream today. Brian Nadeau with you. Another perfect picture, perfect day here in Hollandale Beach. Fast main track, firm turf course. Tapeta, as always, happy to have you aboard. Happy Preakness 150 as well. Historic running of the second jewel of the Triple Crown up there in Baltimore. Ron and Samantha are up there with the crew, and I'll be holding down the fort here. Solid 11 race card we have for you today as well. There's a couple turf stakes today, ending with the Mr. Steel for the older runners, routing on the turf. We've got a sprint with the Roar as well. You can see it there. Thank you guys. Appreciate that. $75,000 on the line in both of them. We'll get to that a little bit later on. The Rainbow Six, of course, today. It went unhit yesterday, so we're back today. 11 race card means it's in race number 6 today, and 150 is the estimated jackpot. I think we'll be comfortably over that. You can see the carryover is comfortably over half that. So, we'll get a $150 to $200,000 today. The pool should be very, very healthy, as we'll basically take you right up to that Preakness 150. And as I sneak a peek at the computer over here to my right, I see even money right now on Journalism, the heavy favorite, second in the Kentucky Derby, almost $2.4 million in that pool. That's going to be right around 7 o'clock. We're going to end about 6:30-ish or so today, so stick around. Silks is already open. They were open early this morning with that very early Preakness Day post, but let's start it off here in race number 1 in the early pick 5. I've got tickets galore today. I promise you that, each and every one of them. We've got the TT pick 3 back today as well, but let's take a look now at the early pick 5, and it's an $18 ticket. I lost 3 top picks today, and admittedly that was quite a bummer, and 2 of them were in the first 2 races. So scratch into the 3, race number 2. I scratch into the 5, and that is Mustang Bay, race number 3. Let's go with the 3-3-0. Race number 4, I've got the 8 on top in there, and that is Layla Bella Girl. And you can see in race number 5, that is a single for me, and that is Bal Damar for Sam Walensky, back on the Tapeta today where the victory was had. 2 starts back, $18 in the early pick 4. Turf racing kicks off the card today. We love that. A firm turf course. Take note, the rails are at 80 feet in every race today. There's a couple changes, so I'll remind you of that. 17.5 2L for me here, 3-year-olds and up. Scratch out the 4 Disattached. That's the big one, the 9-5 morning line favorite. The 9 Noble Stars out as well. It allows the 10 Saratoga Cruiser to draw in. The AE, the 10 draws in. And I scratch into the 3 Khatib, who's odds on right now. That makes perfect sense. He was 2-1 prior to the scratch of Disattached. Going to be a very short price now for Rohan Crichton. A good third last time for 25 on April 20th. And that race, and he was breaking from the 10 hole that day, that race is just better than anything anybody's done in here. And I think Khatib at a very short number is going to be tough. Big post position switch today as well. I said it yesterday. I'm going to say it all day today, because you have to say it. Speed and inside draws are going to be huge. With the rails out at 80 feet, it just doesn't give a fair go to the outside drawn horses or the horses without a lot of speed that have to come around on the turf. And Khatib now with an inside draw is just likely to overwhelm this field. The 7 Dixie Preached, middle moved and tired last time, but we're looking at 1 for 24 with 13 underneath finishes. That is not ideal. You do get speed from the 8 Bandula, but that didn't work at the level last time, and he's meeting better, especially with Khatib. Richard Avenue in Legal Maneuver in the mix for pieces underneath. Early pick 4 kicks off in race number 2. We're at 7 furlongs. 12.5 maiden claimers here. We do have a scratch of the 4 Triunvirato, as well as the 7 First Flash of Moon are out. We'll go to battle with a field of 7. We'll take a look at my early pick 4 ticket now. Kind of bobbed and weaved on this one too. It's basically a run back. Some of these tickets are going to differ a little bit, where I was able to spend a little more, as you'll see throughout the course of the day. This one is an $18 run back, early pick 4, 7 furlongs on a fast main track. I've got the 5 on top, Mustang Bay, and as I alluded to, I scratch into this horse, but that's not a bad thing, because Carlos Perez has got it it going on. Won again yesterday decisively. This is for his the clients I really like, Abario Stable. He's gotten some other ones that are doing good things. But Mustang Bay was a distant second to an easy winner in High Prince last time out. It's going to put him right in the mix against a group like this. He is a 3-year-old tackling older, but he got that out of the way last time. I don't see a problem with it today. Mohawk River, the chances are just really adding up. Now, he's never been in this low for 12.5. This is the bottom for the maiden claimers. He was in for 25 last time. Boy, he was dreadful. So I don't know what you're going to get. It wasn't the 25 in the drop today. I'm not making an excuse. I don't know why he ran so poorly last time at 7-2. It's a real guessing game. If the real Mohawk River shows up, he's going to win. I don't really think you can assume you're getting that anymore. Plex, I've tried him 3 times in a row. He's disappointed. He's run okay. He hasn't won. Now from a tricky rail draw, what are we going to get from Plex today? I don't know. I'm going to use him, but that's primarily because I lost my top pick and I don't have as much conviction anymore. Let's go to the Tapeta now in race number 3. We're at 5 furlongs here in what is a starter optional claimer, the 4-year-olds and up here. Scratch out the 5. The long shot Song Runner is out of this race. It kicks off the ever popular middle pick 5. I do want to show this ticket because, again, a little bit of a bobbing and weaving here, and we draw in a couple extra races here. We've already talked about race 3, 4, and 5. You can see in race 6 now, and that's kind of the newcomer race into this sequence. I've got the single there in R. Del Rey. Now, that's likely going to be a hot firster for Safi Joseph Jr. in Averill Racing. 7-5 with a first-time starter on the morning line. Well, that's the kind of race it is. We'll show you a workout there. R. Del Rey looks very, very live in that spot. Wouldn't shock me at all if they bet this horse, if this one's going to be 3 or 4 to 5 in there. And then in race number 7, 2 deep there with the 2 More Than Glory on top. That's a good one on the turf that kicks off the late 5 and the TT pick 3 as well. Let's get back to race number 3 now. You know, racing and gambling is funny. You've heard me time and time again beat up 3-0, who was 2 for 35. With 15 underneath finishes. But I want to show you what he did last time. And this is kudos to Jesus Reyes. I'm on the best horse. I'm putting him on the front end. If you want to run with me, you go right ahead. But I'm going to take the initiative because I'm on the best horse here. And I love this ride from Jesus, who's had a strong year. He's kind of picked and choosed his spots. He did good work during the championship meet. And so I'm right back with 3-0 here. We've got confidence now. He blasted this field in a horse that never, ever wanted to win, that would always find 1 or 2 or 3 better. Well, he did it the right way last time, and he's on the rise here. And I love what Carlos Davis is doing in this spot, too. You can't claim him anymore. You could have had him for 12.5 last time. Nope, not anymore. He's going to be aggressive in this starter optional claimer. 3-0 is not in for the tag. And I think he's dangerous right back on the front end because you know what? He's supposed to do that again today. He's supposed to get clear today. Can he last against better? It remains to be seen, but I think he's the controlling speed in here. I'm going to put him on top. Clearly, they've got to beat Mr. Narcissistic. You know, he's been freshened up by Safi. Francisco Arrieta is riding a lot of these Safi horses now. Won the stakes the other day with Claret Barrette. Mr. Narcissistic is a huge threat in here. He's the favorite, deservedly so. 6 wins on the Tapeta, 9 for 11 in the Exacta. The inside draw is not ideal, but he's the class horse. 1 whirlwind ride is the 2. Playing against him a little bit in here. I actually put the 4 in second, Chaplin. He didn't want to change leads late last time. I talked to Sam Walensky and Herm Walensky after the race, Herm actually, and said, you know, I thought he was going to be there last time if he did change leads. Rachel's coach came back to win, actually beat our whirlwind ride, who the 2's got a little, he's got a little Jekyll and Hyde in him. Good race, bad race, good race, bad race. I wonder if he regresses a little bit today, and that's why I put him further down in the mix. Middle pick 4, ever popular in race number 4. We'll get back to the turf. This is the change now. I want you to take note of this. The rails are out at 80 feet here as well. That was not listed initially. So the rails are out at 80 feet in this maiden optional claimer for 50. Florida breds do not need to be in for the tag. Fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Scratch the outside horse. Prism Pool Pat is out of here. This was a pick that I made early when the rails were not at 80. My horse now, Layla Bella Girl, is going to be up against it. With this outside rail setting, this is a tricky, tricky spot for her. I'm going to leave her on top. I don't want to change that. I did this early, obviously. I think she's vulnerable in here, to be sure, but I like her getting back to the turf. She did not fire on the Tapeta last time. The turf return off a long layoff for Dave Brady, 2 starts back, was a really good second. If she can run back to that race today, she's in with a big, big threat. Poor post position and all. I think the 2 is clearly the horse to beat. I want to talk quickly, though, about the 7, Swift Candy. Jose D'Angelo all of a sudden has been very good first-time turf. He's up to 14-15%. That was not a good angle at all earlier, maybe about 2 years ago when he was about 0 for 50. Look it up. But now we get a homebred for Bahama Corp here that is a daughter of Valiant Minister who was actually Turf Sprint Stakes placed. Say that quick. Broke her maiden in her second start. You get Edgar Zayas today. I like this outside attack post because she does have speed, and that's going to play in here. I'm going to use her at what should be a decent price. Now let's show you Love Actually for Joe Orsino. He won yesterday off a layoff on a horse they bet. This is the Turf Sprint. 3 starts back. They're going to have to catch Love Actually. She ran really big. She didn't want 2 turns on the turf last time. This is by far the best race of her career. It came off a sizable layoff, too. She gets run down by Starship Impulsive, who's so good now for Steve Dwoskin. This was a good effort, and if she can get back to it as the inside speed, they're going to have to catch her. And with the rails are at 80 feet today, she's very, very dangerous on a pop job there on the front end. Race number 5, we'll get to the Tapeta, back to the Tapeta at 5.5 furlongs, $25,000 claimer. These are 3-year-old fillies or 4 and up, which have never won 2 races. We've got a clean 7-pack for you here. I am on the 6, Bal Damar. I had to be aggressive singling her in the early 5 and early pick 4 because it's at the end. I wanted to go a little deeper in this spot, but I do think she's a big player. She's 1 for 7. And her only win was on the Tapeta, and that's why I do like her on top here. She won 2 starts back, came back last time in the middle of April against Statebreds on the turf. She didn't run poorly, but the win was on the Tapeta, and I like that. The Walensky's today are set up to have a good day. We'll see what we can do. You've got the 3, Long Gone Sally, probably has the inside speed. It makes the 6, Bal Damar, in a very envious position, getting first run on some of these horses, including the 2, Not Guilty, for Eddie Plesa Jr. and Edgar Zayas. This is a class dropper here that's been in starter 25s in the last 2 starts. She's going to like this drop today. Edgar's going to have to put her in the race, though. That's what worries me a little bit. You run the risk, especially sprinting on the Tapeta, of dropping a little too far out of it. He's going to have to get her involved a little bit. Garuda just missed last time for DeBona, who's starting to click over a little bit. First time facing older horses today. That is always a worry for me. So that's 5 down on this 11 race card. When we come back, we've got 6 to go, the Rainbow included, and 2 turf stakes included. Stay tuned. Back with you shortly.
And they're off.
New DRF All Access Past Performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access Past Performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian Natta with you. Strong 11 race card here at Gulfstream. Of course, Preakness 150 up at Pimlico. That's about 7 o'clock in the p.m. Ron and Samantha and a lot of the first talent are up there. Good to see everybody up there. We're going to take you right to about 6:30 today, so stick around in Silks. Fire away at Preakness 150. Of course, journalism second in the Kentucky Derby. Right back. I love to see that back on 2 weeks rest. Clearly the horse to beat in that Preakness today. But we've got a big card today. Rainbow 6 in race number 6. 6. 150 in your estimated jackpot. I've got the comfortably over in that one. I think it starts with a single. We'll talk about race 6 here in a second, but yeah, I'm singling R. Del Rey. Race 7, another 2 on top for me, more glory. And then I'm spreading a little bit throughout the rest of the card. My long shots in race 8, that's the one, Lady O'Brien. In race number 9, I'm a little tighter in that spot, and that's kind of because I didn't want to spend 96. 64 is a little aggressive too. I'm on the 1, Turbulent Force. Race number 10, we've got, I do scratch into the 10, and that is Lightning Tones on the outside. And I lost my best bet of the day, and that is Abramar. And I want to let everybody know, Abramar and Cash Equity are both up at Pimlico for Safi Joseph Jr. today. I'm going to play Abramar in the dinner party, the grade 2 up there. He's 20-1 on the morning line. I think he's very interesting. I liked his comeback a lot. But back here to Gulfstream, I double scratch into the 6, Bapio. Man, I don't know about him, but Edgar Zayas getting aboard today. I do love that. And in race number, that is Mr. Steele to wrap up the card, in race number 11. So that's the 6, but it's a big spread for me, at least in this spot. I couldn't necessarily do it in the late 5, the late 4, and the TT pick 3, but I wanted to spread in the rainbow because, again, in race number 11, the Mr. Steele, it's a double scratch for me. Kicking it off here in a maiden special weight, 3-year-olds and up at a fast 6 furlongs on the main track. No scratches, but we do have changes. R. Del Rey, the 2, is a gelding. First-time starter, he's a gelding. Race number 3, Luz de Gua is going to add blinkers. That used to be a potent move for the Hall of Famer Nick Zito. In the 4, To the Max, Jonathan Acasio will ride today. Looks like Luca is off again after that spill yesterday. He looked okay, but he's going to be off that one here, race number 6. Let's get to R. Del Rey. I mean, when you've got a morning line on a first-time starter that's 7-5, I think there's 2 different things going on. A, clearly this horse is well meant and looks like he can run. I see that bullet on April 26th. The other thing is B, the competition is just not much. I got to be honest with you here. There's not a lot in here. I want to show you work. We were able to see R. Del Rey leg up a little bit. This is a gelded son of Tiz the Law. He's been very precocious as a young sire. There's a nice pedigree here, too. The dam is an unraced 14-year-old. R. Del Rey's on the inside. One sharp cookie can run. He's a nice horse for Safi, and you can see Art Del Rey is holding his own. Maybe he's even a tick better than him. This is the May 10th drill. I don't have the bullet to show you, but that was the May 10th drill, Ava Racing. This is also a half to Rushy, who is really good for Michael McCarthy, who's obviously going to saddle journalism in the Preakness later today. 6 full. None of them won on debut. I will mention that. But Rushy was a runner. He won the Grade 2 Pat Day Mile on Derby Day at Churchill Downs. If R. Del Rey, I'm going to say this. If R. Del Rey is not in the 6, 7, 8 to 5 range, and he's higher than that, I'd be really worried because he's supposed to win today against a group like this. I mentioned the Hall of Famer Nick Zito. The 3, Luz de Gua, blinkers on. He didn't run poorly on debut on April 19th. Didn't take any money that day. The winner could be okay. Won easily. I like him a little better than the Golden Gorilla, who was second that day in a someone had to be second feel at 37-1. The 3 is supposed to move forward, and I mentioned it, that blinkers on, back when the Hall of Famer Nick Zito was rolling, boy, that was a potent angle. Long before I was working in racing and wagering on racing, blinkers on for Nick was a big-time move. I think he moves forward today, but I think, unfortunately, he meets a real horse in the 2, R. Del Rey. Down on the inside, keep on moving. What do you get today? You get the bad version or the good version? He was beaten easily at 50 cents on the dollar against State Breds last time. The debut against Open Company Optional Claimers was pretty good. Blinkers on. You're going to find him early. I don't know where he'll be late. He's the speed in here. Back to the turf in race 7. It kicks off the late 5. I'll tweet that out later, but it kicks off the TT pick 3 as well, and I want to show you that one. $3 base wager, a 15% takeout, and as I mentioned already, I had to rework race number 11. So race number 7 here, 26, that's your order. More Than Glory on top. Race number 9, 3 deep in there, the 1 Turbulent Force on top. That's the Roar. And in race number 11, you know, the 2 morning line favorites scratched, And that's a bummer. I lost my best bet of the day, but you know what it does? It turns the Mr. Steele into a really good betting race. As I mentioned, I double scratch into Bapio, but I'm going to use Lorenz as well. Safi left Lorenz in, and Rajiv Mirage is on Lorenz. And I've said this now for a couple weeks, and I'm going to say it now on a big Saturday here. Rajiv's getting his mojo back. And when Rajiv was rolling up in New York and winning grade ones and winning Breeders' Cup races and piloting Groupie Dial to Breeders' Cup wins, he was really good. And he was really good finishing and on the front end, and we're seeing it now. It took a while. I think he would even tell you, it took a while to get the legs back, to get the power back. Rajiv's doing some really good things down here, and it's great to see. Let's get back into it now. It's an optional claimer on the turf here. The rail's at 80 feet in this spot. Just scratch the AE Smiling Ellie. That was the late one coming out as the AE. Nobody defected. I'm on the 2 More Than Glory. Laura Cesaris doing good things here at the Royal Palm Meet, winning races of late. I like the post here. I like the win last time. I like the aggressiveness as well, and I like the price. Now, normally More Than Glory coming out of a 25 claimer would be way out of her element in this spot. That's not the case here. This is a little bit of a watered-down field. We can save ground. We can kick on late. And Miguel Vasquez aboard today on a horse coming in off a very strong win. I mean, they all have to beat the 6, Ashima. Let's take a look at her win. This is the turf win, 2 back in the Sunshine Fillies and Mare Sprint. If they let her go early, they're not seeing her again. She's so good right now for Sal Santoro, who's done a phenomenal job off the claim with her. And she is the speed, and that is dangerous. And she dragged around a good horse. This is Great Venezuela, who admittedly might not be a 2-turn horse, is better at 1 turn for Victor Barboza. But I got to tell you what, they could have ran around 3 times, and they would never have run her down. Amicio on the engine is as good as there is. You got to catch the 6 in this spot. The 3, Sarah's Dream, I think is a player as well. Stubbed her toe a little bit in a starter 50 last time, but if she can work out a trip, she's a player as well. But they're all looking up, to be sure, at the 6 in here. Late pick 4 kicks off in race number 8. We're on the Tapeta and what is an $8,000 2L here for Fillies and Mares, 3-year-olds and up. Just a change on the 1, Lady O'Brien. Jose Morelos is going to ride. Luca Panici, hopefully we see him back here tomorrow or sooner rather than later. This is my long shot, the 1, Lady O'Brien on top here. Jose Morelos riding great. I can't say it enough. It's great to see a young kid that is really on top of his game right now. And just draw a line through the turf race last time, way over her head. I think we're going to get 8-1 in here, though, because what's going to happen is the betting public's going to see that second, 2 starts back. That was okay, but it was at 32-1. Then they're going to see the no-show, 9th by 10.25 last time on the turf, and they're probably not going to come back to her. I like that race. I'm going to believe it. It's 2 good starts for Javier Negrete on the Tapeta. We're well drawn. Jose's going to put her in the race. Let's take a shot here at a price right next door on the Nile. Last time she was on Tapeta for Louis Luna was against tons better. Love Her Lots would drown this field. That was 5 starts ago, and it was off a little bit of a layoff as well. If she can run back to that race, and honestly on the turf and on the main track against way better, she hasn't been, totally embarrassed. Now, she hasn't run since September. I get it. But I'm going to think she's live in here off the drop, where she probably just should be now, off the layoffs and everything like that. She's probably just an 8K claimer, and that's where I'll put her. I want to show you the China Blue race. She runs second, beaten ahead. It was a good effort that day. Behind her, My Happy Holiday and Na 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 Boo Boo. Thank you, Bob. There's only one horse you want out of this race, right? It's China Blue. Now, I don't like that she couldn't see this out. That kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth. At 2-1, you got to win from there. Compass Rises is the winner, actually. She's threading the 2-horse coming through here. It's D'Angelo. It's Edwin Gonzalez. They're 30% together. You're supposed to win from here. point blank, couldn't get it done. It was not a bad effort at all. Listen, she lost the photo finish. Don't get me wrong. I would have thought she'd open up and go about her business. I'm a little leery of her, but I think what's pretty obvious, she's the one I want out of here. My Happy Holiday did run on late. Kudos to her. It was a solid effort. I'm a little against her in this spot. Let's get now to race number 9. Kick off the late pick 3. I don't have to show you any more horizontal tickets. It's the first of 2 turf stakes today. It's the Roar, $75,000 for the 3-year-olds in this spot. Take note, the rail's at 80 feet. That's a big, big deal. Scratch the dirt stakes winner in the class, Rolando. The 2, he'll try turf maybe another day. Edgar Perez will ride the 6, Mr. Banks. And they are not without possibility in here. I'm on the inside. I've said this so many times, but Edgar Zayas rides this turf course as good as anyone. And I'm not saying that on May 17th. I'm saying that on January 17th, February 17th, and March 17th. For my money, he's as good as anybody on the turf. And he better be today because Turbulent Force has got a tricky draw down on the inside here. He was in the Texas Glitter when he was 4th, beaten 2 lengths by the other Jose Giangelo, and Canto swooped them all late. Turbulent Force now catches a group he's got a big, big chance against. That's why he's your favorite in here. I like him in this spot. The other George Weaver, who of course won another Royal Palm race last Saturday, and George will go over to Royal Ascot again, is Ortley Avenue, and that is the 5. So good winning on debut on Tapeta, and that is scary for everybody in here because he did it on the front end, and he is bred top and bottom by Europeans. So that means he is all turf in here. Great post. He is facing winners. Bonaventure Stables, Dan Collins in the group do such a good job. Ortley Avenue. I think the stablemates are supposed to get it here, one or the other, meaning the 1 or the 5. I want to well, let's go with the 6 first, and that is Mr. Binks. Let's show his maiden special weight win last time for Joe Catanese. It was good. He did it. It was a good effort here. I know he got I know he got a good setup in here, because Surf's Up and First Navy Jack are kind of dueling on the lead through wild splits. Surf's Up in the finale tomorrow, and he's supposed to win. I think he's 7-5 in there. But Mr. Banks, yeah, he tripped out. I get it. But he wanted it, and he dug down here because Surf's Up is not quitting for Weaver, and he's I think he's going to be a nice horse. Mr. Binks nailed him on the line, and he's eligible to do this exactly again today because the flow of this race says, you know what, they're going to hit pretty hard early, and I'm going to show you why. I don't want to beat up Most Handsome too much. We're going to show you his replay now. He's the 4 today. He is the 6 in here. What happened, though, no evidence got, I don't know if he got a passive ride. I don't know what he got, but he wasn't 1-5, no evidence. And he got shuffled a little bit here. So Most Handsome, kudos to him for seeing it out because, you know, no evidence could well go on to be a stakes kind of horse for Dean Reeves and Clement. But Most Handsome really got all the best of it today. Once he got into the breach, no evidence, he was still a little flat. So, again, I want to give him credit for wiring and taking pace pressure and doing it. He's not going to get that kind of trip today. I'm a little bit against him, at least up top in the Roar. Good turf stakes for the 3-year-old. Race 10 is a good one as well. It'd be the feature on any other kind of day. It's an optional claimer here. 3-year-olds and up will go a flat 1-turn mile. The bummer here is we lost the 2. Well, we lost our morning line favorite, the 7 Hades. His comeback will be delayed. In the 3 Grand Mo the first, as will him. 2 extremely talented 3-year-olds that are now 4 and eligible to be good. They'll not run today. Leads us with a field of 8, so I do scratch into the 10 Lightning Tones, and there's nothing wrong with that because he's been so good off the claim here for, now Carlos Navarez to Jose Castro. We're seeing Castro take over a lot of these Navarez horses. In Lightning Tones, I'm going to show you the replay of the the Gulfstream Park Mile 2 starts back. Who did he lose to in this spot? He lost to Mindframe, subsequent winner of the Grade 1 Churchill Downs on Derby Day, and he lost to Steel Sunshine, who himself would be a huge favorite in here. In Lightning Tones, was beaten just 2 lengths in this spot. This is a big-time effort. He gets all the best of it today with the 2 scratches. To me, he's clearly the horse to beat. I also think, and this might sound a little Little silly because he's a stakes winner at 2 turns. I think he's a better 1-turn horse at this elongated 1-turn mile that he gets today. And I think he's clearly now the horse to beat with 2 scratches. Mind frame about his business here as the class of the race. Steel Sunshine picks up the pieces. But look at Lightning Tones. When Steel Sunshine came to him on the outside, he kind of re-broke and he wanted to run with him. Big time effort in there. Again, everybody else I'm scratching up in here. The 5 Big Data. Cool horse for Mike Lerman. The big horse in the barn now with XY Speed off the fastball a little bit. But we haven't seen him since the middle of later September. He won the Super Derby last year, second beating a neck in the Bourbon Trail. First time gelding, first time older horses, first time since September 23rd. He's eligible to need this race. It's great to see him back, though. And Mike might ease him into things a little bit. He likes to do that. The 9 Secret Chat, dangerous off the maker claim. The problem is it is very difficult to improve off the claim for Victor Barboza Jr. Off Victor Barboza Jr. Race 11 is the Mr. Steel. The rail's at 80 feet here. 3-year-olds and up with $75,000 on the line. I mentioned the big scratches of the 2 Cash Equity, your morning line favorite. The 3 Abramar at 2-1, my best bet of the day. They are out, as is the 9 Eldest Son, the giant long shot Baytown Parfait. The 10 will draw in and will run. So again, double scratch into Bapio, and the next time I get it right with Bapio will be the first time, because I do pick him a lot and he never wins. He's got a lot of hang in him, but you know what he gets today? He gets Edgar Zayas, and maybe Edgar can move him up a little bit. 2 mile and an eighth at Tampa. He didn't run at all, and I don't know why. I'm going to draw a line through the race. See, that was just so bad. I don't really see anything that kind of said why. The winner that day is Crystal Quest. He's my pick in the dinner party today up at Pimlico. He ran huge that day. So Bapio, I'm going to just be forgiving. We'll see. He has run well here at Gulfstream Park. He's never gotten a win, but he's faced good horses. And now today, back on the turf with Edgard. Again, double scratch into him. Lorenz is what Safi left in here. He's a player in here with the 2 big scratches, and he'll be running on late. Safi left the 4 Saratoga, the 7 Saratoga Flash in as well. I put him in third. The 8 is Degree of Risk for Nolan Ramsey. I think he can get back on the beam after he had a layoff wide trip in the race up at Laurel. You know, you could use the 1 in here too, just a photo. He's got a good draw, and he's 2 for 3 on the turf here at Gulfstream Park. That's a fun one to end the day. And again, the Mr. Steel kind of take you right up to Preakness 1-5-0, around 7:0, maybe 7:05 over at Pimlico. Let's just take a quick look at the lightning round. I wanted to leave, I didn't think we'd have a lot of time, but we lost a couple of replays in the finale, so we will mention today the Coast to Coast, the TT Pick 3 turf races at Gulfstream today, 2 of them stakes, so that's going to get going in race number 7. It also kicks off the late pick 5. There we go there. 15% takeout, $3 minimum. Great bet that routinely pays more than the parlay. And you want to talk about a great bet, I'll raise you with the Coast to Coast, our sister track at Santa Anita. Of course, Gulfstream today. We've got 3 races today. I love this. Our last 3 on the card, and then Santa Anita, race 4 and race 7. 2 hours and 22 minutes is the window up there. That's pretty cool. That'll be a little bit after Preakness 1-5-0. Again, I lost my best bet today, but my long shot is a little later on the card. Down on the inside, it is in race number 8 with Lady O'Brien on the Tapeta. A catch rise for Jose Morelos. That is race 8, the 1. I think we should get 8-1, every bit of that, in a very competitive race. That's it for me. Thank you for betting today, and of course Preakness 150 up there at Maryland, but strong 11 race card today. Horizontals galore. TT Pick 3, the Rainbow at $150,000 in race number 6, and Pete Aiello upstairs with your scratches and changes. I'll be back with you for the opener at about 15 minutes or so. We're happy to have you aboard.